Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session on group discussion. It gives me immense joy to do something besides the technical sessions, something which you will use in real life, apply directly, and hopefully benefit from. My name is Dr. Samir Divanji, and I am at AISSMS College of Hotel Management, Pune. So let's begin with this series, first video in the series on group discussion. As you all know, GD or group discussion is a very important round in all campus recruitment. Most often, it is also an elimination round. What does that mean? It means that they select a few students only from every group discussion, and the rest don't even get a chance to appear for a personal interview round or showcase their other skills. That makes group discussion even more important because you really need to showcase yourself and get a chance to go to the next round where they can get to know you better. So this is where we come in, and we will talk a little more about group discussion. So what is a group discussion? So remember the dinner table conversations with your family back home. You spoke about something and you all opined. Uh, I'm sure we all had conversations. We agreed to disagree. We had different opinions, but we heard everybody, right? So group discussion is a similar thing, but in a more systematic way, in a more formal way. So what happens is it's very important to know that it's not a debate where you have two groups, one speaking for, one against. They are out to outwit each other. No, it's not a wrestling match for sure. And most definitely, it's not a fish market. So, group discussion is a simulation of what you can expect in a meeting at your workplace. Increasingly, when I worked in the hotel industry and attended morning meetings as a head of department, I said that, oh, there's so much of group discussion happening here. So that's when I also thought it's not just a campus recruitment thing, but it also has applications later. The ability to put forth your point, put across your point in an effective way is extremely important. And I think group discussion definitely helps there. So let's move ahead. A group discussion tests the following really. So what all does it test? It looks at your body language. Yeah, the recruiter, or in this, if you are appearing for an exam and you have this under soft skills, then your examiner, they look at your body language. All right. And really, even when you're not talking, your body is constantly engaging in a conversation, and that's body language. Your expressions tell a lot about you and your thoughts than otherwise. Communication skills, of course, this is purely linguistic ability. Here, I would say that, of course, speaking good English is important. But here, I would also say that I have chosen people who were not very good at English, but had something about them, their body language, expressions, confidence, attitude, which really shone. So, communication skills are important, but of course, keep improving them. But don't get all hassled just because your English is not the best. Self confidence. Yes, you have to have confidence to for eye contact, to have a very calm demeanor, smile, and do a discussion very confidently. Team skills, you're mostly in groups of 8, 10, 12. So you have to also give others their space. You have to respect each other, appreciate their points, and not just hog the limelight completely. Now, when I was recruiting across India, I always instead of looking at the person who's talking, of course, I kept an eye on him or her as well. But I was really interested in knowing the others' expression. So I was looking at the remaining 9 people when the 10th person was talking. How are they reacting? How are they listening? Because believe me, you understand it if you're really if somebody is really listening. Is he thinking what to say after this, or is he really listening to the point? So listening ability and your reactions are very important. So ability to present your views logically. You can't say something and then say something exactly opposite after 2 minutes. All right. So logically and systematically, you need to present your points, and at least 2 points you should make at 2 different places. You first start, and then later, midway somewhere, you also make another point. So at least two, if not more. Time management, please ensure that you know how much time is allocated, because we all have this habit of just not knowing how the time is going. There's a little nervousness maybe, or somebody is really talking so much that you're listening to that person and you've not got a chance to speak. So remember, if the time allocated is 10 minutes, you cannot let anybody talk definitely more than 1 minute at a time. So you have to know how to manage time. All right. Now, attitude, I've singled it out because here it's the most important. And though I would say your attitude comes across more in the personal interview rounds or the next rounds where we talk to you more about, of course, your journey so far as a student or a career person, professional, and also your technical knowledge. But your body language also portrays your attitude. A positive body language and expression shows a positive attitude. You have to look interested. You have to show interest, convey interest. You have to stay motivated and be excited about it. You cannot have an expression which says, oh God, let's get over and done with, or look at your watch and say, when is this getting over? Or seem very, very tired or hungry or bored and just want to get out of that room. All right. Do not show that at all. We said be confident, but here do not try to dominate. So confidence is good, overconfidence, definite no. So do not try to dominate the conversation or any particular other participant. Now here, being generous or gregarious. So of course you have to maintain moderation here. You cannot be too generous and allow everybody to talk and at the cost of being eliminated. So you have to ensure that you're assertive and you make your point. And then again, after 3-4 minutes, make another point. So yes, you have to be a little assertive there. I won't say gregarious or greedy, but assertive. And so you don't have to be over generous and let everybody else talk only, but also you have to show consideration for others, wherein you allow others to talk also. So as I said, it's a combination of these two. All right. Talk or listen, of course, make a couple of points, but very importantly, listen. So then we move to the next point. This is what the group discussion is made up of. The first part, which is the introduction, then main group discussion and the summary or conclusion. All right. So here I would like to say that there's always only one chance to make a first good impression. Of course, you get another chance to make another impression, but one chance to make a first good impression. So definitely look at that. You can be the first person to start the group discussion. May I start the discussion? Good morning, everyone. We are here to discuss this. This is our topic. All that, of course, as per what you've been taught. But you can definitely start with one of these things that we have written here. So you can start, depending on the topic, with the quote. So if the topic is time management, or time is money is your topic for group discussion, you can definitely start with, I would like to begin with a quote saying, time and tide wait for none. it does make a good impression. They know that you're well read. They know that you're intelligent and interested, both. Or if it's, you can start with a definition. For example, if the topic is euthanasia, not everybody knows, and here you know it. So you can take advantage of that and talk about it. The topic given to us is euthanasia, and euthanasia means mercy killing. I would like to state my opinion here, or a point here, that so and so. So, euthanasia, for example. Or you can start with a question, all right? Global warming, if that's your topic, you can say, do you know we are sitting on a time bomb? Now, here it's a question mark as well as a shock statement, both. But definitely, depending on the topic, you can start with a question. Now, it's a rhetorical question. You don't expect others to start answering, nor do you wait for them to start answering. It's just an effective way to start a conversation, group discussion. So, shock statement also, this time bomb question was a shock statement as well. Or if it's euthanasia, you can start with, I believe in euthanasia. You can say that and shock everybody maybe. Facts, figures, statistics. We can talk about population explosion. If that's the topic, you can start with a fact. You can talk about uh, the world today is 8 billion plus, and we are increasing at this rate. Or in India, our population now is 1.4 billion. All right, and we'll soon overtake China, or we have already. So you know your facts or figures. If it's on tourism, you can state how many million tourists we get in a year, for example, India. Short story, you can start with a short story. It could be, do you know Amitabh Bachchan was rejected at All India Radio in his interview or first audition? Isn't that so? That's a question, it's a shock statement, it's a short story. And then how he went ahead and made a great career, and he's still ruling at 78 years age. It's a short story. Or you can start with a fable, like, how the crow got the water, which was at the bottom of the pitcher. He put pebbles, and then what is the moral of the story, and you can start. So or a general statement, it could be anything, like, I believe in, or something. So these are various ways to start a group discussion. Not many books will tell you this, and I think you can definitely use one of these tips. Then it's the main body of the discussion, where people are discussing, voicing their opinions, and the main discussion is happening. Finally, the summary. Now, if the recruiter asks you to summarize, you have to summarize it and not make another statement. All right, you have to just summarize what has happened. So you can say that we had the topic of population explosion, and there were various points which were raised, which said about the global population at 8 billion. We said how it's important that education plays an important role in population explosion. Literacy is important, poverty and population are interlinked. So you have to summarize the points. You don't have to state a new point. All right. So keep it brief, concise, and then thank at the end. Make sure you incorporate all the important points that came out. So this is what a group discussion is. We will continue this in the next lecture on the series, in the next video. I hope you enjoyed listening to whatever we had to say. This came mainly from somebody who's recruited a lot across the geography. So happy discussing, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.